4-game slate. Bobby, how's it going? How was the regular season for you?
Going well. Enjoy the regular season. Now ready to get in some playoff DFS and some 4-game slates, I guess.
All right, the first game we have on our slate is Houston versus the Bills. Houston are 2.5-point home favorites. It's 43.5-point total. That total has come up 2 points since opening. I mean, this is a pretty interesting game with both quarterbacks bringing a lot of rushing equity. I believe they're both like top 5 or 4 even in like rushing attempts, yards, and maybe probably both touchdowns as well. And they both have like pretty clear receiving options to stack with them. Actually, they're like the exact same because the tight end options suck for both of them too. So, I mean, I guess kick it off. Where do you want to start with this game? Do you have any interest in stacking it? There's great receiving options. Does Tre'Davious White scare you off DeAndre Hopkins? Take it however you want.
Yeah, I'm not really on D-Hop. Pretty much going to stay away there. Devin Singletary's in the for the Bills is probably going to be one of my higher owned guys. On the Bill, like I don't mind stacking up the Bills side. I like Josh Allen. His ownership's probably going to come in lower than Deshaun Watson's, and I think that that's something that I could gravitate to, and then stack him up with John Brown, Cole Beasley. I like Dawson Knox on a 4-game slate. Mm-hmm. Like we talk about tight end options being kind of thin in this game, but I don't mind taking a flyer on Dawson Knox or just being. If you're overweight on Dawson Knox, you're pretty much like 3. If he's like, I just want to pull up what his ownership is. Say if you're like playing the jukebox or something like that.
Dawson Knox is 6%.
So you're like you can be like 12% or 10%. I don't think that.
Yeah, I actually think he's a pretty sharp play. He is 5th in the NFL in deep targets for tight ends, despite being like outside the top 15 or 20. So like he has that high variance in his range of outcomes. And of course, if there's one thing Josh Allen does well, it's deep balls. So yeah, I like that. I like John.
Isn't seeing the field as much as he was.
Yeah.
Earlier in the year, but I definitely think he's viable today.
Yeah, especially it's like a mega thin slate for tight end. I still think I would doubt we're going to get Zach Ertz, so Dallas Goedert would be a good play. But it's like because of that, I'm not playing him tournaments. I don't know how. What do you think we're going to get ownership wise on Dallas Goedert if Zach Ertz doesn't play?
He's going to be really highly owned.
I guess. Do you think there's any? Do you think there's any credence to because Zach Ertz probably won't get ruled out till the second game, so they won't get out till 2:30 tomorrow? People aren't going to be late swapping because like the general public doesn't really late swap.
I late swap. I am if you're not late swapping, like you're really at a disadvantage in DFS, especially NBA DFS. But on a slate like this, it's pretty much it's really similar. So yeah, you have to be late swapping here. People won't late swap, and yeah, it's advantageous too. I wonder what the leverage is. So like if we just leave Goddard in. Like, no, I just wouldn't have. I mean, yeah, I don't know. I would just not play Goddard and then find a way to get up to Ertz. I don't know how I would kind of manage my salary in that. I have to think about it more. I haven't really got into that too much.
Yeah, UF Collective right now has Ertz at like 10%, Goddard pretty high. Let me see, Goddard at 28. I'd imagine that just continues. You get all of Ertz ownership plus probably some Jared Cook ownership going to him, so it probably hits like 40 to 50-ish. Like how we're gonna see.
I don't know if I want to play Ertz. That's the thing. Is like
he's not. I would bet anything he's not playing.
Yeah. So yeah, I don't think. Yeah, it was pretty much. I was under the assumption he wasn't gonna play, but even with the Q tag, like we have to kind of take into consideration that he might. So
if he does
I don't want to just leave him in and then global swap down to Goddard because
you get a bunch of
global swap down to Hollister. Hollister would be.
That's absolutely a better play. I would if you have like I'm trying to think.
Hollister's a really good play in the slate.
Yeah, I think Hollister's a really good play too. Yeah, I don't know. I just wouldn't even start a lineup with Ertz in it because I really don't think there's that much of a chance that he plays. And then if you're behind going into that final game and assuming you have like Hollister in or you can put Ertz in the flex, maybe you swap up to Ertz because if he's active, I doubt he's really that highly owned because like he's a corpse out there.
Yeah, it would leave like $100 within your salary, so you can kind of make that switch in the actually tight end. Yeah,
I mean you can put him in flex though, and I'm a staunch no double tight end on small slates like this. It really it doesn't bother me.
Yeah, I get you.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess back to the Houston game. On the Houston side, I guess so we're not expecting Will Fuller to play. Nothing official yet, because that game's at 4 or whatever. But they don't expect Will Fuller to play. Kenny Stills has been just terrible whenever Will Fuller doesn't play. It's like 4 games. He hasn't topped 52 yards. He hasn't scored, and he's played all but 4 snaps. And he sucks. He just can't get anything done. Do you think there's like credence to the fact that he's better in the wide receiver 3 role or something, or are you just going to keep playing him when Will Fuller's out?
Yeah, I'm not really playing any Houston receivers. I think the Houston running backs are more viable.
Yeah, in this game as home favorites, I think especially if you were.
I think Fuller's going to play. I'm under the assumption Fuller's playing too. Am I wrong in saying that?
No, I think Schefter or one of the talking heads tweeted that it is more unlikely that he plays this week. I can check real quick.
Unlikely?
Unlikely, yes.
Okay, yeah. So then maybe I am playing some. I don't want to play any Kenny Stills or DeAndre Carter. I like that's like aggravating to have to make that decision.
Yeah, and Deshaun Watson has been like notably not as good with Will Fuller out of the lineup. Like all his efficiency stats.
I'm not playing Watson either.
Yeah, so I actually think
Duke Johnson would probably be the most viable player for Houston for me, and maybe one of the tight ends. But I just feel like I have a lot of shit tight ends already. So,
yeah, let's see. James Palmer and then Ian Rappaport added Texans give him up to game time. They're not expecting Will Fuller to play. So, yeah, I'm much more interested in running like a single Duke Johnson probably be a good call, or even Carlos Hyde. Although I think when Carlos Hyde gets going, my inclination is that it slows the game down. But I don't know, maybe that's not true. So I would be more interested in running a running back with Josh Allen, Dawson Knox, and like John Brown. Especially, I probably wouldn't run like Cole Beasley and John Brown because you can get Josh Allen to like vulture touchdowns, whereas Dawson Knox needs like
that's actually a really sharp take.
Needs like what Dawson Knox for 2x is he like under 3K, so he needs like 6 points. So it's much easier for him to hit value than it is for him or for like Cole Beasley and John Brown, who are both over 5K to hit value.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Yeah, it's probably the
John
entire
Brown's
way.
A really good play.
Yeah,
John Singletary and Josh Allen. I like Bills D. We should talk Bills D a little too.
Sure.
A lot of people like casuals, for example, are going to be on Houston when it's pretty obvious where the sharp money is, and I think that the Bills are the play you want in this game or the side you want to be on in this game. So,
yeah, if I'm reading this right, I believe the Bills are under half the bets, about 44% of the bets, and the spread has already moved a half point off a key number. I think that happened early in the week. But yeah, so definitely sharp money on the Bills, it looks like. Yeah, I think that's probably. I guess I can add that Houston is 28th in yards allowed on the bad way, but good for receivers. They've allowed 260 some odd yards per game to passers this season. So I think I'll probably be well overweight on Josh Allen. John Brown's going to be
that's
at least
the thing though. So if you talk about late swap, right? Like Devin Singletary is going to be so highly owned. John Brown's going to. I just think John Brown's a good play. I think Devin Singletary is a good play, but it's the first game of the week. Like if you want to maybe not go as heavy on the Bills because people are going to be pretty heavy on these guys, I think giving yourself the optionality isn't like the worst route because there's 3 games behind that and you have the ability to late swap. Like, this isn't like a regular Sunday slate. I mean, like Sunday NFL slate. You know what I mean? It's Saturday, Sunday, and then we have time between each games to kind of make decisions, especially if you're MMEing. Like, you just take advantage of that. I just think the Bills are a good play regardless.
Yeah, I think that's a good way to end this game. Let's hop into our next one, New England versus Tennessee. The game, it's a 4.5 point spread in favor of New England. It is a 44.5 point total. That's come up a point, and the spread has come down a point or half point in favor of the Titans. I have no clue what to make of this game. This is like the battle of 2 narratives. The Brady and the Patriots are dead narrative, and Ryan Tannehill is Patrick Mahomes narrative. My inclination is that New England's offense is not going to be that good, but their defense is still the defense we've seen like all year. And I think you give Bill Belichick a week to prepare for Ryan Tannehill, who he played for 6, I believe, years. Tannehill never won in Foxborough his entire time at Miami. And he takes sacks at a crazy rate. He takes sacks over like 9%, it's like 9.8% rate. second highest in the NFL. And of course, the Patriots are top 10 in sacks. I just think everything, like, I can't convince myself that the Titans are going to do much here. So I'm probably fading this game more than any other.
Yeah, I kind of like this game.
I go for it. I am very weakly convicted about this game.
Like, it's nice. Like, the Patriots defense and the Bills defense are probably going to be defenses that you're going to want to have some ownership to. I don't know. I think you can have some Titans at 2,200, especially for cash. I think people are going to go to the Titans, or like, no, I don't think they go to the Titans because I think people are going to end up playing some Brady. Brady might be someone people are looking at in cash games. I like Brady's price at 5,600. I like the fact that his ownership's very low. He's viable for cash, Brady, but he's not. I don't know if he's the. I would definitely try to get to Josh Allen. I just like the ownership on Brady. I like N'Keal Harry a lot this week. Obviously, I'll have exposure to Edelman. And on the other side, like, I really like Derrick Henry. Also like AJ Brown. Not too bullish on Tannehill. I think that those guys make sense just to have from this game. If they're going to come in this low own, like, I don't mind.
Yeah, what ownership? Because my biggest thing is that like, I've been fading the Titans in higher owned spots all like the second half of the season. Mostly didn't work out, but sometimes it did. What ownership do you think we see on the Titans? Because I actually think they're going to be kind of popular.
I think Tannehill is going to be the lowest owned QB on the slate, and he has the rushing equity, so I like that. Brady will probably be a little higher owned than Tannehill. What does UF Collective have? And what are you looking at?
Tannehill is super low owned, 3.5% on a slate with eight QBs. It's massively low owned. The thing is, Derrick Henry is 20%. I believe that's the fourth highest running back, and AJ Brown is like 17, which actually for a small slate, like, isn't he's like pretty low on the wide receivers as well.
I think AJ Brown's a good play.
Yeah, he's like ninth or 10th in terms of wide receiver ownership. I'm
he just has so much explode. Like, I don't care about Gilmore. I really don't.
John. Oh, actually, it was John Brown beat him last week or 2 weeks ago, I guess. However long ago they played.
Cole Beasley is really popular. I didn't even realize that. Wow.
Yeah, actually didn't realize that either. 35% for Cole Beasley. Yeah, don't if you're stacking Josh Allen, don't stack him with Cole Beasley.
I would not play Cole Beasley, John Brown, and Josh Allen in the same lineup. I just think that's really, it's going to be negative. Like, you have that expectancy of Josh Allen kind of. It's going to be, you want Josh Allen to have that rushing touchdown, and then Cole Beasley's only going to catch a 5-yard out for a touchdown. So it's kind of tough.
For the Titans, so I was looking at ownership. AJ Brown, like, maybe top 10 in terms of receivers, probably right around 10 in terms of a guy with like his massive playmaking ability. Actually, because of like ownership alone, that's actually pretty interesting. I was going to say, though, are you
10% on AJ Brown? Come on. That can't be true.
No, I said top 10 in wide receivers, but that puts him behind number 2 receivers. 17%.
Wow.
But yeah, that puts him behind DK Metcalf, Tyler Lockett.
People are that afraid of Gilmore, like casual.
Yeah,
that afraid of Gilmore.
Yeah, Devontae Parker, I think, went to work on him,
and John Brown did too.
Mm-hmm.
I'm in New England. They make him out to be like Darrelle Revis.
So I guess, are you double stacking Tannehill? Because he does have
Brown
that.
Put Gilmore on skates 3 weeks ago.
Are you double stacking Tannehill? Because I'm looking at Corey Davis ownership, and it's 22%. He's higher than AJ Brown. Like, his price is really good. They're without their number 2 or their number 3.
I don't mind Corey Davis. I just don't want to play him at that ownership.
Exactly. So
I'd probably play Jonnu Smith or someone
and
like
he's
that.
Like 10%.
Is a good play too. It's weird, but if I'm MMEing, I'd probably have like, if Tajay Sharp's like 1%, I'd probably have like 3.
Nah, that's a good call. I'm looking at him 5%, but he's going to be the number 3 receiver, and we've seen
he's at 5%.
Yeah, I still think that's not.
This is like a 4-game slate. Like, you have to actually consider playing him.
Yeah, like he's going to run the number 3 receiver in a game where they're trailing and they've been massively efficient all year, like or all half year since Tannehill took over. I actually don't think it's that bad.
He's a UMass guy too, so little college narrative there.
Yeah, no, I don't think he's that bad of a play. 2 weeks ago, he got 6 targets and he scored twice in that game.
Oh, he's horrible.
Why don't you say that about Tajay Sharp? He's better than Corey Davis, maybe.
Remember Tajay Sharp chalk week like 2 years ago?
No. Tajay Sharp chalk.
It was like week 1.
Oh, I do remember that. Yeah, okay.
You weren't playing DFS, dude.
I was playing DFS as of 3 years ago. But people actually, I didn't know this. People are going to latch onto the Corey Davis beats the Patriots narrative because he went on them in the playoffs and one other game, like the 2 times he's.
I actually had a really good week that week stacking the Titans. I think that was 2 years ago.
It was 2 years ago. It was 2 years ago, and it wasn't like that good of a game. But Corey Davis just popped off. But people think that matters, and it doesn't. Corey Davis is not very good.
The people you listen to, no, people like Corey Davis, dude.
Like I used to, and then
I don't mind. I'm talking about this week. I don't hate the call. Like I would play him too, especially Gilmore. That like if they do take away AJ Brown, someone's gonna have to catch passes.
I'd rather look to Jonnu Smith at whatever. Like
what about the running game?
I'm not playing Derrick Henry.
See, I think he's a really good play.
I'm looking at him as like the 4th highest owned player on the running back on the slate, and that's enough to just like.
Oh, yeah. Really?
Yeah, he's not getting the same treatment that Ryan Tannehill and AJ Brown are. I'm looking at him at, let me see, 20%. That puts him only behind.
That's not bad. That's like that. So like it's a 4-game slate relative to all these other guys. Like that's fine.
It's fine, but like when I can,
that's like
I
can't
play all the top.
Slate. Like if
it's still the 4th most owned running back behind.
Yeah, but there's how many running backs on the slate? There's 4 running backs on the slate. That's not that low. That's not that highly owned in a 40-game slate.
I would rather look to James White, like for considering ownership. James White, Travis Homer.
I love Travis Homer. I think he's a great play this week.
Yeah, so why play Derrick Henry?
Because I have 3 running back slots.
That's fine.
I'm not as bullish on someone as you probably are. I feel like
maybe I don't know. I guess New England running backs. Last side we have to talk about.
Yeah, James White and Burkhead. Don't play Sonny Michel.
Yep, that's about it. I'm probably so. I guess
they have a really good run D. Tennessee, like underrated run D. I feel
like what are you doing with Burkhead? Because his volume has been up in recent weeks. Sonny Michel sucks, but the thing is the James White playoff narrative. I'm more willing to buy into that one than I am that Corey Davis beats the Titan or beats the Patriots.
Yeah. What about Deion Lewis?
No, definitely not playing Deion Lewis. A little revenge game narrative, though.
Yeah, I don't. Just make a rule like no one Tennessee Titans running back, have like 3% of him.
I mean, I'd make a rule of 0, but
yeah, I just whatever.
It's fine. He's gonna get an 80-yard touchdown in garbage time, and I'll get dunked on. So
yeah, I like Burkhead. I think he's a good play.
Let's hop into our next game. We have the Saints versus the Vikings. Saints are 8-point home favorites, largest spread of probably maybe end up being the largest spread of the playoffs if there's no upsets in this round, and a 49.5-point total. Come up 2.5 points since opening at 47. This is just going to be like massively chalky. I'm looking at Alvin Kamara and Michael Thomas as like 50% owned or more. I guess, I mean, not that it super matters, but who do you think is going to be more owned, Michael Thomas or Alvin Kamara? So I'm looking at Alvin Kamara higher ownership. I kind of disagree with that.
Yeah, I'm playing 100% Michael Thomas. There's no way that I'm not playing Michael Thomas this week. In terms of Kamara, like this is going to be a really bold take, but I might take the fade on Kamara.
Well, I definitely don't think you can play both of them because you're literally playing 2 players who are going to be 50 and maybe like 60 to 70% owned.
Yeah,
so I think you have
to fade one of them, and that's why I like Henry.
Yeah, I guess okay. When you look at it that way, that makes a little more sense why you play Henry too. So I see where you're coming from on that. Yeah, I mean, I think
I can't play Kamara. I can't believe I'm saying that in like the Superdome. I want to play him.
I mean, yeah, you just have to.
I love him. Like I love to. It's just he's just been, and I think he's fine. Like I think he's back to normal.
Yeah, I mean, I literally just
that ownership. That's tough. Like it's either one or the other for me, and it's probably going to be Michael Thomas.
Yeah, I definitely. That's how I approach it. I'm still not sure. I guess like my only thought is that
MT is the best player. Like the thing for me, right? Like we have all these split running backs on this slate, like dual backfields.
Mhm.
You have to roster. You need some like concentrated usage, and there's no one better than Michael Thomas for that. So like he has, even though he's a receiver and the average up the target, or like for him to catch the ball, it's a lot more difficult than a handoff. But his usage has just been so consistent. Even at that price, he's too cheap, and he's just the perfect guy for this situation to just lock. I hope that doesn't bite me in the ass, but
yeah, honestly, for him to catch a pass, really honestly isn't even that more difficult than a handoff. He catches balls at
rate. For other, if
exactly,
you just talk the situation between a QB and a receiver, but not for Michael Thompson, Drew Brees, it's different.
Yeah, for Michael Thomas, it's different. So I guess my thought is that for this game, I would be only taking one of Alvin Kamara and Michael Thomas, and instead of running like Drew Brees stacks, I would be because he's going to be the number one owned quarterback by a pretty wide margin. He is. I'm looking. UF has him at 34% owned. I have to scroll and scroll and scroll till I find the next quarterback. Deshaun Watson at 17. Like that's like I'm not playing Drew Brees. Quarterback scoring is so tight that I'd literally just look to the other side of the ball and get Kirk Cousins. Going into like every single week, we just say whoever plays in the Superdome, stack that team. I don't get why this week's any different.
He's going to be pretty low owned, right?
Yeah. Let me check. But 4%.
I'm not really on that play. Like I just don't. 6%. Like, and it's crazy because that's been my get. Like if I get low owned guys in the Superdome, I just play them.
Yeah, I mean, it's literally.
I'm just not confident with rostering him for whatever reason.
I don't care. I'm getting Adam Thielen below 10%. Stephon Diggs pretty low as well.
I played Kyle Allen and DJ Moore and McCaffrey. I like legitimately lock button the stack like week 10 or whatever. And I felt more safe with that because of McCaffrey's usage than I do with he doesn't play up to the competition. Like it's just I don't know.
I mean, he's 0-9. Is it either Monday night or prime time on the whole?
This is going to be a tough game, and I just don't think he has the stones. You know, I'd rather just play Brady and just take everyone. They're like, I don't know. That's probably a bad take, but
yeah,
I can mix in their receivers. I don't know. I just don't. Cousins scares me, dude.
Yeah, I mean, he's fine. Like Kirk Cousins is a fine quarterback. He's like efficient in some stretch and just like a buster in other stretches, but like going into the Superdome low owned, that's like all you need to tell me.
I get it. That's usually my spot. I don't know if it's my spot this week though.
Yeah. So my only thought is how am I stacking this team? And I think I guess I would have thought the split between Stephon Diggs and Adam Thielen was going to be wider, but they're only like a 3% difference. So I'll probably just be running a lot of Diggs and then either one of Dalvin Cook or Adam Thielen. Because Adam Thielen, I don't know, like we've seen this with Saquon Barkley and with Alvin Kamara. They look like so unhealthy and wrong, like they're just not doing what they do until one day.
He doesn't look the same.
But just like we say that about Saquon Barkley and Alvin Kamara, and then just the next week, all of a sudden they look right. And is that this week? I have no clue because he has 7 targets.
He's way too cheap if he's right.
Yep,
but that's the other thing is I just don't think he's being incorporated for whatever reason.
Last week he played more snaps. As it would have been 2 weeks ago. Now it was week 16. He played more snaps than Stephon Diggs.
He's not getting the ball.
He got targeted 7 times in his last 2 weeks of play and caught 3 of them for 27 yards. Like there is no less of
7 times total.
Yes, and that's in 2 games, which is not a lot. And he did not do a single thing with them. He caught 3 of 7 targets. So, yeah, there's definitely a strong argument to be made that he something is not right with him, whether it's how he's being used or whether it's his actual health. So I still think I'd be over the field on him because the chance that this is the week he feels better. he's a smash at his ownership and his price.
Yeah, but what do you do with the stack with them? Just the three of them. Leave Dalvin out. Like,
yeah, I think you could either do that, or if you didn't want to play Thielen, put Dalvin in, because Dalvin does get a decent amount of targets, and he's got he's pretty efficient on his targets. Like he can break long ones. So
that's the thing is Dalvin in the Superdome. Like that's the other play off Kamara. Like just play Dalvin.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Dalvin is. Oh my god, the ownership Kamara is going to be so popular. Yeah, I don't. That's tough. Dalvin under a quarter of the field looks like they'll be on him. I'll be massively owned on Dalvin.
Yeah, I think it's sharp to just be overweight on Dalvin and Henry and just get off that Kamara train.
Yeah, I might have to think more about Henry, but
profit, like Kamara could obviously burn you. At least
yeah. Outside of that, I guess in this game, I'm not playing. Like maybe this is bad that I guess. So I like Kirk Cousins. I cannot bring myself to play any of the Minnesota tight ends. Just can't do it.
Yeah, don't do that.
Like Kyle Rudolph, I think is like top 5 or so.
TD.
Yeah, he's like top 5 or
he stinks for the TD.
Yeah, he's like top 5 or higher in touchdowns, and he's outside the top 15 or 20 in every single other stat. Like he doesn't do anything but catch touchdowns, and I'm just
maybe always that's reason to play him on a 4-game slate.
Yeah, that's reason to play him. It's not enough for me. Like he splits he's a committee tight end.
Yeah, I don't know what his price is, so I couldn't tell you.
I've had the price all week, so I'm not playing him. So on the other side, I actually think assuming we get Dallas Goedert chalk, Jared Cook.
I like Jared Cook a lot.
Jared Cook is considering the ownership discrepancy I assume we'll see between Dallas Goedert and Jared Cook, I can't imagine playing Dallas Goedert.
I like Cook. I think he's a really good play.
So yeah, I would even consider. What do you think about
he's another one that just has that high ADOT for a tight end.
What do you think about double run back, like 2 Vikings receivers with Kirk Cousins and running it back with Thomas and Jared Cook?
Yeah, you can game stack it.
Yeah, that's probably. I doubt anyone's really doing that because the ownership I'm seeing on Kirk Cousins alone, like just taking the percentages of all ownerships, no one's really doing that. So I don't know. It's probably how I'd attack this game. Any interest for you in the ancillary Saints receivers, Traquan Smith and Ted Ginn?
Ted Ginn. I think I'd have some just because it's in a dome. Like these receivers can break a slate on the fort. Ted Ginn and Smith, I'll have a little bit.
Yeah, I think if you're playing like any amount of Drew Brees, you have to play Traquan Smith or Ted Ginn. Like I think
that's the thing, though. I don't think I'm playing Drew Brees, which is
that's fine. Like I'm thinking if you're listening right now and you want to play Drew Brees,
I just don't want to pay up.
Yeah, I playing any Drew Brees because of his ownership and his price. But
should I be if I'm playing Ginn and Traquan? Do I need to I don't know.
I mean, I think there are still paths to where those 2 hit and another quarterback outscores Brees, especially like at their price. So I'd probably I'm trying to think who would probably be. I would think of the running quarterbacks as maybe having that type of ceiling, like a double.
That's what I'm saying. Like
a double Josh Allen rushing touchdown easily beats whatever happens with if both Michael Thomas and Traquan Smith go off, and or Ted Ginn, whoever. And especially with Michael Thomas, he can go off without his quarterback going off because he can get 100 yards and 1 touchdown. Fine. He can get there on 13 catches, though, which doesn't help a quarterback at all, but is obviously massive for him.
Yeah.
I think that's everything. Oh, I guess any interest in Latavius Murray or the defenses? I mean, truly, Saints defense.
I do. So if I'm not playing, like if I'm taking the fade on a guy like Kamara, Lat is someone I'm considering in my player pool.
Yeah. All right. Next and final game, Eagles, Seahawks. Eagles are 1 point.
Well, both defenses too. Yeah. I mean, not both, just the Saints.
So on FanDuel, the pricing is even easier to get literally all Saints. I have 1 entry in the largest, smallest dollar contest where I play Dalvin Cook, Vikings defense and no Saints.
Dalvin Cook, Vikings D, and no Saints.
Yeah, because I mean they're going to be. I think it actually might be on. I made it early in the week when FanDuel had no full slate; they only had the split slates, and I was like, "You're literally going to get 90% owned."
Why did they? They're such a bad company.
They added it later in the week.
Yeah, because they heard the chirping on Twitter.
Yeah, I don't know. But yeah, I think I actually did it on the small slate where I literally just played Vikings. I stacked the other game and played Vikings defense, Dalvin Cook.
Yeah.
Because you're going to get a 90% owned Michael Thomas and 80% owned Alvin Kamara, 60% owned Drew Brees.
Yep.
It's $1 to prove I'm a god. I'll take that dollar. All right, next game, Eagles Seahawks. Eagles are 1-point home dogs. It's a 45-point total. This is the only total on the slate that has come down. All the others moved up at least 1 point, if not 2 or 2.5. This one's down to 45. I think this has actually got some pretty sneaky plays. I don't think we'll be with Zach Ertz. I can't imagine a dude playing with, like, I believe fractured or broken ribs and a lacerated kidney is going to suit up. And I don't know why you would. That's insanity. And Miles Sanders is expected to play. That's probably all the news we have here. Oh, Nelson Aguilar doesn't look like he's going to play either, for what it's worth. So that puts us with, like, Eagles receivers again are Greg Ward as their number 1. And last week, Robert Davis ran as the number 2 over J.J. Arcega-Whiteside. So
I just don't like him, huh?
I mean, yeah, he ran as number 2, but I think he got like 2 targets. So let me see. Yeah.
Who led them in targets?
Who led them in targets had to be Dallas
Goddard.
I think it was Goddard got like 10 targets. It was probably him.
Yeah, he's a funny player to watch.
I think
falls down.
I think he's a good player. Just his ownership.
No, he's really good. I think he's really good.
His ownership this week is just going to be stupid. I'm not playing the highest owned tight end. Catch me dead.
Yeah, he reminds me of like a Dallas Clark.
So I guess you were interested in Travis Homer. I'm interested in Travis Homer. You want to talk to the people about Travis Homer?
Yeah, I just think he's a really good play with Kamara's ownership. Like, I think he's the guy that can. There's just so much. Like, you have Kamara, just from a game theory perspective, like you have all these high owned guys. Neither of us are too sure on Henry or Dalvin as guys to kind of leverage Kamara's ownership. I just think Homer's like a really good play. You have a lot of the public will just go to Marshawn Lynch, and Homer's like a good player.
Dude, please tell me Marshawn Lynch is going to be more owned than Travis Homer. No, I'm looking at Travis Homer higher ownership. Although I think the split could be pretty close.
It's going to be close. It should be closer than like Homer. That kid Homer is explosive.
He runs like a 4.4 or something, I believe.
He's a guy that like you can pair with that. He would be someone I'd like to pair with Russell Wilson.
Yeah, I 100% can see him getting like he got 5 catches last week. I don't know if he got 5 or more target. Like I obviously
like 14%. I might, dude. To be honest, like he might be the guy. I don't know.
I think he would be
stand on this week.
I will probably be taking a heavy stand on him the more we talk about him because one, he's like a pretty mega athlete in terms of like both like just all around athlete. He's like a.
I just hope like they don't like go away from him and feel like they need to feed Marshawn Lynch.
I think like anytime they're in a passing scenario, I can't imagine they'll have Lynch because literally they had
Lynch can play in the passing game though.
The thing is that what happened last week was they were on the 1 yard line. They brought Lynch in, and then they get moved 6 yards back, and they see that and go, "We cannot have Lynch on the field when there are 6 yards that we have to cover in one play." Like they were very specifically like
he was slow, dude.
Of course he's slow. He's 30 whatever year old Marshawn Lynch. I'm playing 0 Marshawn Lynch and probably a lot of Travis Homer. But yeah, so it was the last play. They got the delay of game. It brought them to the 6 yard line, and they have to pass you. Like you're not running it from the 6. And they immediately subbed him out. They said, "There's no way we're playing Marshawn Lynch on a passing down." I think that I don't know. That speaks volumes to me. So I think we're going to get a lot of Travis Homer in the passing game. And I think I guess any interest in Russell Wilson stacks. He's expensive, but I like Russell Wilson stacks.
What's his ownership?
Let me see.
I like him and Metcalf, DJ Moore. I don't like Lockett. Maybe that's a bad take, but I just can't. Lockett's like a tough roster for me.
Russell Wilson around 14% ownership that puts him at the 3rd highest quarterback, but just honestly, there's so much ownership concentrated on Drew Brees that I'm fine with arguments for anybody else.
Yeah, I think Russ is a much better play than maybe he's not. I would rather Russ.
Yeah, I would too. So I guess I'm fine with Tyler.
So like who am I am I playing Lockett in that scenario? Like,
I mean, you don't have to. I think both DK Metcalf and like Jacob Hollister can go off without Lockett going off. I think that's absolutely within the range of outcomes. But I would still, if you were going to be overweight on Russ, I would be overweight on Tyler Lockett.
Yeah, but overweight on Lockett's like a lot.
Yeah, I'm gonna be he's been.
I'd rather just be with the field on Lockett.
Yeah, so in the past 4 weeks,
14%. Like, yeah, I can be 14%. I don't know. I want like 40. I want a strong DK Met. I want DK Metcalf. DK Metcalf's like good. At the beginning of the year I was like very skeptical. I don't mind being a little bit overweight on David Moore either. And then
that's actually I wanted to talk about David Moore. So they're obviously without Josh Gordon, who's no longer with the team. There looks like I don't think he resumed practice at any point. So it looks like they're going to be without Malik Turner. That literally leads them to I don't think they have a single receiver outside of their top three.
Did you say DJ Moore or David Moore?
David Moore.
Oh, I wish DJ Moore was on the slate, not David Moore.
So David Moore is the only receiver on this team that is not Tyler Lockett or DK Metcalf with I think multiple targets. Like I think John Ursua has one target, and they have one other guy with like one target.
Jerron Brown is he playing?
No, the thing is he's messed up with the knee injury. I forgot to mention him. That's another reason that I was talking about.
I mean, not good. That's not. He's also not good theories on people, but David Moore, and it just gives more credence to Moore.
Yeah, I mean, I think you're going to see like I can't imagine they run out any single player.
Moore caught a touchdown like a week ago.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to run.
He gets deep and he catches long passes, and it's like pretty much everything that you want against Philadelphia. So
yeah, I don't think they're going to run anybody else as their wide receiver 3 because he's the only guy they've used there that they still have healthy. So
we haven't talked about Eagles running backs.
Yeah, I guess
Miles Sanders is really good, but I don't know. Like with how Boston Scott played, it's going to be interesting to see that split.
Yeah, so actually, I think Miles Sanders is another one of the pivots I'd rather take over Alvin Kamara. And for me, Derrick Henry.
I think so. No, I'm with you. I'm with you. I just don't know how much Boston Scott's going to cut it. Boston Scott's good.
He's good. He's good as hell, man. But I do think we'll see a decent amount of 2 running back sets because that's like what else are they going to do? They're down to their receiver, probably 3 or 4 as their starting receiver. They're down to I assume their second tight end. I think we could see a lot of 2-back sets, which would give like both of them credence.
Yeah.
I guess any interest in Boston Scott? He's a baller.
Not at that price.
Yeah, I agree with that. Especially if Sanders was going to be out, I'd probably lock button Scott. Like even when we get high ownership, free square running backs, I typically lock button. But Sanders is going to be in, and I think I'm looking at not super high ownership for Sanders. So yeah, I like that a lot.
Yeah.
I think that's everything. We have that's the entire slate. It's a short one, but I think we covered literally every angle and every player I would consider in my player pool. So for myself, for Bobby Gomes, everybody catch us next week for the divisional round. We will see you then.
All right. Thanks guys for tuning in.